Thanks so much indeed, Paul. Frank, fair to say that was a great night for the fans. A great night for the fans. 3 fights with loads of talking points, loads of things to discuss. Let's start with the one we've just seen. Denzel Bentley there, caught and hurt and stopped in the 3rd round, and I've watched it back. There can be no complaints about the stoppage. Were you shocked by that? Surprised?
I was. I mean, the referee was spot on though. He did an excellent job in stopping the fight when he did. Denzel was a little bit tense in the 1st round, and then I thought the 2nd round he got into it. The 3rd round, he actually caught Felix to a good shot. He fired back, and he won it in style, excellent style. Done a real good job.
When you see something like that with Denzel, because a year ago, Denzel, we're thinking he'd have a couple of fights by the end of the year, then move into contention by the middle of 2021. The way things worked out, Liam vacating, him moving up to Heifer. I know we're all geniuses after the event, but perhaps he could have done with some more fights. I know we're all geniuses the next day, obviously.
How many more fights can he have? He won the title, he won the Commonwealth, the British title, and that was it. And he had his mandatory, and that happened. And look, they're fighting men, and the best fight the best, and that's what happened tonight. And Felix was the better man of the night, and done a good job.
Yeah, the best fight the best. You're absolutely right, and that's exactly what it was.
But, he's got what's going to be interesting now. When Liam vacated, he vacated on the understanding he becomes preferential challenger. So there's another cracking fight to be made between Liam Williams and Felix.
And can that be made?
Well, he's the preferential challenger. The board will make it happen.
So it has to happen.
The board will put it out. I mean, if we can't do a deal, it'll go to purse bids again.
Felix Cash against Liam Williams. That's
a cracker, isn't it?
Listen, that was good tonight. That's got an even better ring to it.
And Denzel can regroup and come back.
He has to. He's only a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's talk about Callum Johnson. He hasn't boxed for about 48 years. In the first, he gave us about 7 or 8 minutes of absolute mayhem tonight. Good to see him back. And there's one thing about Callum. He's just raw and excited. He's not raw as a fighter. He just gives you raw excitement.
Well, it was exciting, wasn't it? I mean, my God, that 1st round was on the edge of the seat stuff. And he's in with a good opponent. I mean, that guy's a good Croatian, an excellent fighter. And he obviously, good banger, got a good knockout ratio on his record. And it was a shootout. And at the end of the day, I think, Callum's strength, will to win came through.
Now, you've got 3 light heavyweights all queuing up for a crack at the light heavyweight world title. Joe Smith was a name that Lyndon Arthur was talking about up in the commentary position or the chatting position with David Hay and Paul Dempsey. That's a name that also that Anthony Yard talks about. It's a name that Callum Johnson mentioned here. What's going on? Whose call are you going to answer first?
Well, Lyndon, I'm sure he's told the viewers, he had a hand operation. He was supposed to fight and take, a couple of months ago. He's had an operation. He's going to be out again. I think it's sometime in June. And also Anthony Yard, who's supposed to have fought tonight, who had a abscess on his tooth, had a tooth removed. So he'll be fighting in a couple of weeks' time. And then, provided they both come through their fights, they're going to fight each other. And it's exciting times in that division. Some good fights, and obviously Callum's come in and shown what he's got. So I think we've got some really good fights to be made there. And they all want a shot at the world title, and it's my job to make sure that it happens. And I think with Lyndon and Anthony Yard, the winner of that will get a shot at the world title, and Callum will as well.
And could Callum get a shot by the end of the year? Is that
I hope so. Look, we don't hang around, does he?
Yeah,
I mean, he doesn't want to hang around, but he does need. He's had one. That's his first fight in was it 25 months?
Yeah, 25 months.
So he probably need another fight at least. Keep him busy. Not going to sit around and wait for it to happen. We'll give him another fight, and then hopefully we'll get him in a position where he can fight for the title.
And finally, a very interesting or intriguing 6-round heavyweight fight earlier on that seems to have divided people here, divided people online. David Adeleye getting the decision by just 1 point over the Polish veteran Kamil Sokolowski. How did you see it? From where you were sitting, how did you see it after 6 rounds?
They were close rounds, but I thought David won it. He wobbled him in the last round. He caught him a good shot in the last round. And I felt that it showed that he'd only had 5 fights against a guy. He had 34 fights?
Yeah, something like that.
And been sparring with Joseph Parker.
And been the distance
preparing
for
a fight, so he's a veteran, and he obviously got a lot of experience, and he was old man in him at times. But they're fights that he learns from. Having that fight is probably equivalent to having about 4 or 5 knockovers. So you know, you could see a lot of the things he's got to work on. His jab wasn't as good as it should have been. His hands were low. But they're things to work on, and he's a 5-fight novice. I mean, everyone was getting carried away saying, you know, give him a 10-round fight, let's move him quickly. He's got a lot to learn, and he'll come through it, and he'll learn, and he will learn a lot from that fight, and he'll come good. He's only a young man. He's a very young, you know, he is a young heavyweight.
And finally, back here, 6 nights' time, Sonny Edwards in the ring challenging for a world title.
It's a tough fight, you know. The South Africans, you know, he's been an excellent champion. He's got a win over Tete, who the viewers will know. You know, Tete knocked out Paul Butler.
Paul Butler.
So he's got a good pedigree. If he was going to fight the hardest guy in that division, challenge for a title, Sonny's got him. But Sonny's, you know, he's a student of boxing. He's got an excellent boxing brain, and he's got the tools to win it. And I think that if he puts in a real controlled performance, he can become world champion. Won't be easy, but he can do it.
Yeah, night of drama tonight, probably a night of drama next week. Frank, thanks very much indeed.